Hi, super loved one. Welcome back. This is another weekly update for the super loved relationship, and I'm excited to do it as usual. As you can see, I'm not in the setup I used the last couple of weeks where I was sort of in my own studio with a lot of lights and me in the picture. That's because I've decided to move house. So the next couple of months, 2, 3, 4 months, I will be very busy moving. There will be some reconstructions done. And one of the reasons for me to move is to make sure that I have like a study or a work room where I can create the sort of studio setup. So I don't have to do that in my living room all the time. So that's the reason I am doing the simplified version of this recording. And well, if anything changes, I'm sure you will see. And yeah, so that's as far as the practical stuff is concerned. So the next coming updates, you will not really see me. You will see the cards and hear my voice. As usual, my intention for these readings is for them to be timeless, but of course, the time in which I record them does have an impact on the outcome and how we read those energies. I hope you are doing well, by the way. I forget to say that, but it's very important. I hope you're doing well, your loved ones are doing well. It's July 2020, so I hope you have some time off work or other obligations you might have, and just have some time, or that you take some time to relax. And if you're not leaving your house for a vacation somewhere else, then at least you will take some time to be outside, be in nature, take bike rides, which is very popular in the Netherlands. You know, just to make sure you see some different sights and gain some of your energy. The last month, June, has been very impactful, energetically speaking, to say the least. It's been extremely impactful, I should say. I have spoken to many people who felt tired, withdrawn, a bit down, a bit depressed, a bit headachy, a bit without a purpose, you know, like a lost soul kind of feeling. And of course, that has to do with the worldwide situation we're in right now, still working from home, most of us a lot of the time. And that kind of narrows down the flow of creative energy. And that is part of the reason some of us feel like we're without energy. I know I suffer from these spells as well. I use energy tools to clear my energetic field, to clear my chakras, to recalibrate myself basically, and that helps. But even if you use these kinds of tools, you will still have moments where you're not feeling all in all up and happy, and that's okay. Like sometimes the guidance for us is just to let it be whenever we feel that way, and just to make sure that we care for ourselves in the best way we can in that situation. So if this applies to you, you will know. I haven't even seen one card yet, but what I'm going to do is start off with some general themes for this coming week. So energetically speaking, what's important for us in our super loved relationships to know. And also, super loved relationship is, of course, the relationship you have with your loved one, with your partner, but it's moreover, most importantly, it's the relationship you have with yourself. So what's important is the question, how are you being called to step up and lead? Now, for many of us, this feeling can also cause us to feel a bit down, a bit uncertain, a bit like, I'm not sure why I'm here. What is it all for? What purpose does it serve? And the reason we're in this time, it has a reason. You were born in this day and age, and you are alive here today. Many of us chose, well, all of us chose deliberately to be here right now, but many of us chose this specific time for a reason, because we have a purpose here. We came here to be healers, coaches, therapists, writers, speakers, to help other people connect to their own awareness. And that's very important. So how are you being called to step up and lead? It's also an energy. I was just mentioning the word calibrate. You calibrate your energy. This card is all about balancing two parts. And it's in this case, it's like a mirror image, but it's also talking about masculine and feminine energy, which should be balanced in your inner world, in your system. Because then you will be able to do what you came here to do. And you will have balance between acting and creating and manifesting and being present, using your intuition and receiving on the other side. So that's really nice to know. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Okay, I don't know who is watching this exactly, but your soul is clearly giving you a message that says, get up, answer your call, because you are the high priestess. You have the intuition, you have what it takes, you have what you need in order to get this done. Now, what I would like to do is grab the Twin Tarot Oracle to see what blocks us from answering this call. What is a block, considering the theme of listening to your intuition, being your own high priestess, and answering your call? What is the block? Yeah, what I'm feeling when I'm looking at these cards, we get the Dark Judgment. So we are too caught up in our analytical minds, in our evaluation of the situation, in our sum up of the arguments why something is a certain way, or why something should be another way, why something is possible, or maybe why it isn't possible. So that, like the brain activity in a way, I feel is very much in the way of the priestess, because it sort of prevents you to ask the real question, which is about what am I feeling in my soul? What's my heart trying to tell me? We are sort of killing that voice, or trying to kill that voice, by overanalyzing, by even spiritually speaking, you can overanalyze a situation by just constantly thinking about it, looking at it from every possible angle. And the reason I'm saying this is because when we get into that pattern, that thought pattern, that behavior, we are afraid to let go of control, and it actually shows we are not having faith at all. We are not trusting our guidance, our higher selves. We are not trusting the universe. We are lost as far as our own knowledge is concerned. And we get the High Priestess, so she's very important this coming week in relationship to answering the call. And this is really strongly saying, listen to your inside. And now that I'm comparing these two cards, it feels a little bit like, I'll hold them up, see if you can see them closer. If you look at these two cards, this one feels to me like this girl over here, or this woman over here, she is lost in space looking at her outside world. Whereas this woman, the High Priestess, is aligned with her inside world. So what is the block? We are looking too much at our outer world, at our environment, and we are looking not enough on the inside, in our inner world, and that can be a block to realizing what your call is and how you can answer it, because you can answer it, and that's I feel really compelled to say that. You can answer it because otherwise you would not have had that calling, you know? It was meant for you to execute it. All right. I am gonna look at the general themes for this week instead of looking at, you know, awareness, personal growth, willingness, and forgiveness. I'm sure they will pass by, but could you give me 3 cards on the general energies that are at play at this coming week? The week ahead, which is like the second week of July. I'm not even sure what's today, 11, 12? My memory and orientation usually is quite bad, but since we have been living in lockdown, I really need to look at a calendar to know what day it is, because otherwise I really don't know what day it is. This is the Crow Tarot deck I'm working with, by the way. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups, we have the Queen of Swords, and we have the Ace of Pentacles. So for this coming week, for a lot of us, I feel that we might feel and we might get the message that a new time is coming, like we are starting afresh. We start a new phase, we are beginning something new. New beginning is coming, says the Ace of Pentacles strongly, and it has to do with like your material world, so your finances, your job, your house, any other ventures you might have, inheritance, whatever. Anything that has to do with money and possession and security is coming at play. And here's the Queen of Swords is in the middle, and she is the mental energy. She is the communication. She can be cold. She's very analytical. She can look at a situation without emotions. And what I'm feeling is what I was just saying about the Priestess and the Judgment card, that we get too caught up in our analytical minds. That's one theme that will come into play in this coming week. But the Queen of Swords is surrounded with the Page of Cups, which is like a young, fresh, enthusiastic, romantic energy where, you know, you dream about the ultimate romantic dream and anything can happen, that kind of feeling. So we are dreaming a new world into being, and I feel that we are also getting messages about that, about what we dream about. So you can dream about, for instance, like your personal life, about your job, you would like a new job or start your own company maybe, or you have dreams about your relationship, someone you love very much or someone you care about very much. You might have dreams about, you know, getting together romantically or getting in touch again or something along those lines. That's happening. And the Queen of Swords is in the middle, and it's like a heads up for you to make sure you don't get lost in the analytical mind approach, the mind chit chat about what you want. Start feeling it, because the feeling will make her focus on the truth of it and not so much on the chit chat that she's, you know, constantly saying. She's constantly talking. It's a focus on feeling your way into what it is you want to create, because the beginning, the new beginning is there. And if we look into those themes a bit closer, wow, we get 2 knights. So we get the passion, we get the speed, we get the truth, we get the okay. And the Hierophant. So we have a big lesson. We are going to change the way we look at institutes, at learning, at religion, education. The Hierophant can talk about like the church and religion, like Christian religion or, you know, any other kind of religion. But basically it's about structures. And It could also represent like marriage or signing another kind of contract. So I'm feeling that with passion, with warmth, with enthusiasm, with happiness, but also with great clarity and with great understanding of the truth of where we're going, there is a new phase coming, and it's going to be a big lesson for us. And it has to do with how we view structures. And a structure, like a marriage is like a structure, a family is like a structure. It's like an arranged situation that has been decided by law, like what it entails basically. And we are going to get a huge shake-up and maybe feel different about, you know, how we see it, the importance of it. Can you give me some clarification on the Hierophant, please? Because it's very interesting, because it's a big theme, and I'm also feeling like it's not just on a personal scale. And the funny thing with these readings is that for the last, I don't know, 2 months, I've strongly had the feeling that I'm channeling these energies that are not so much for personal situations, although they certainly can be, but it has a lot to do with the situation in the world and how we are handling that situation as, you know, an individual. So, I don't know, but the Hierophant gets the Page of Wands, and so we are looking at the structures with a new eye. It's a new beginning. It's with new passion. It's with vision. It's like the beginning of the new cycle, the beginning of it begins to dawn. Like we begin to understand that we have been stuck probably in many of these old structures, and now we are beginning to feel like we don't need to be. Like they are here to inspire us. They are here to help us connect to the truth of who we are. And the truth of who we are is hidden in the area of quantum physics. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with the three-dimensional world which we think we live in. We are much more than that. And I feel like the structures, and looking at it from this perspective, it can also have to do with like scientific beliefs we have. These get challenged and shaken up because they are not true and they are not doing us justice. We are limiting ourselves by believing that we are a physical body. We are not a physical body. You are a being of light, and you are eternal, and you are wise, and you are endlessly more powerful than you believe to be. So know that, and know that you are a super loved being. In the core of your being, you are super love, and you are here to super love others. What else? We get the Four of Pentacles, which is understandable given what I was just talking about. The Four of Pentacles talks about being a bit greedy, being a bit selfish, holding on to things for your own benefit. And we get the Devil, you see, that's also very, this is like the obstacles, and I didn't even really specifically ask the question, but now that I'm seeing the cards, these are the obstacles. Yeah, and the Eight of Cups. Wow, it's amazing. So these are the subject areas that we are being challenged in. So letting go of the material world, of our belief in the material world and the truth of it, the safety of it, because the true safety we have has got nothing to do with matter. You can lose everything you own in the material world, but in essence, that does not mean you are not safe. You might feel unsafe, but that's because you have projected your feelings of safety and security onto things. But if you take away all your things, you are still immensely, incredibly, endlessly valuable. That never changes. The Devil tells me that we are being challenged to let go of all the illusions we are believing in. the victim, we might have felt the victim or victimized by rules, regulations, and we're about to let that go. We're about to walk away from that. And the Eight of Cups talks about that. The Eight of Cups talks about walking away from a situation and following your intuition and changing directions, going into a new path that's more aligned with your intuition. So it's a very strong sense of change, of purpose that is coming. So what is the advice you have for us for this coming week? Because again, it's going to be a big week with big changes. Big week, big changes. The Four of Wands. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. And the Ten of Wands. And the High Priestess. Well, she is really a theme. She has been on the table like 3 times by now. So, the Four of Wands is a card about stability. It's a card about marriage. It's a card about achievement, accomplishment in the physical world. It's a card about being successful, creating a foundation, creating the foundation for a family, a marriage. And then we have the Ten of Wands, which basically talks about picking up your burden, picking up your responsibility, and being close to ending the cycle of carrying that. Now, what I'm feeling, what's helping us, because this is the advice we're getting for this week, the High Priestess tells us we have romantic beliefs in the outside world. We believe in the fairy tale, we believe in the chick flicks, happily ever after, and, you know, like, the marriage is actually about the day, the wedding day, and it's not about the relationship, you know, that kind of romantic ideal where it's about the dress and the cake and the garden and the honeymoon and whatnot. We are moving back. We are withdrawing our belief in stability from the outside world, and we are traveling inward this week to become the High Priestess. To trust our intuition, our inner knowledge. And we also know the High Priestess, she knows like everything, I want to say, but she doesn't reveal all of it. So some of the information and wisdom and lessons we are about to learn, they are still a bit hidden for us, and that's okay. You know, we don't need to know it all at once. It's going in steps. So we have the stability, but it's creating a burden also. We're picking up the burden and we're moving it, and we're moving into our intuition. So we're about to let this matter go. The heavy matter is going to go, and we are going to reunite with our soul, with our essence, which is light being energy, and that's like this really amazing thing. And then we get the Knight of Cups. I was just asking for any additional information. We get the Knight of Cups, we have the Eight of Swords. It's funny because here we have the Page of Swords, and we have a Page of Cups, sorry, and the Queen of Swords, and here we have the Knight of Cups, which is also talking about very romantic time, and it's bringing up the fears in us. And then we get the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, this new world, a new way of being is going to be materialized, and it's materializing, but the process might take a bit of time for us to see. But the High Priestess already lives that truth of a new world. She already knows, she already sees the vision. So you can really trust that if you feel strongly this coming week and fears are being brought up, that's so you can let them go, and you can understand that you are moving into this world where you are going to be part of a new world. You are helping to create a new world order, and that's amazing. I can't believe how powerful this is. There's a lot of positive energy on the table, and there's also a lot of letting go. And letting go might not always be easy, but I'm not even getting a strong vibe that it's going to be difficult to let go. It's going to be, this coming week is going to be smooth sailing as far as letting go is concerned, and sort of feeling how that really feels. Because the burdens that we carry, they sometimes prevent us from actually feeling the truth. And we're very afraid of feeling the truth because we feel that once we tune into the vastness of who we really are, that we lose ourselves, that we will cease to exist, like we will die. The ego will die when we tap into the infinity of what we really are. So we fear that. So we keep the fears and we keep replaying those fears because we are afraid of what happens once we remove the fears and we look at the truth. Okay, so one last card of this deck, please. What truth can we see this week if we move past the fears? Can you give us one card? The King of Pentacles. Wow, this is the ultimate truth we will see this week. I was talking about safety and security and stability before. We will see, in truth, we are able to provide our own safety. We are able to provide our own security. We are the King of Pentacles, who we are able to create. Whatever we create is successful. You know, whether we farm the land or we own businesses or we work for other businesses, it's just, it's stable. We are stable. The truth is that what we really are cannot be altered, and the King of Pentacles is here to remind you of that strength. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. I would like, what would I like? An energy card. What I would like to get is some guidance for viewing the truth this week. What's your best guidance for viewing the truth this week? Teacher. Beautiful. So find a teacher. Find someone, and it can also be a book or a TV show. I'm watching Joe Dispenza, for example, who's a lovely teacher for me at the moment. He talks about how the brain works and how that creates our reality. It's very powerful. So find a teacher, a person, an actual teacher. It can be your best friend or your mom or your father. It doesn't matter. Find someone who can help you see the truth, because that is what's going to help you move on. Is there any chakra activity or attention or, well, expressing ourselves? Okay. So we get communication, which is the throat chakra, self-expression, exchange, and sharing connection. Well, that is very closely related to the teacher as far as I'm concerned, because we have to talk about, well, we don't have to, but it's a great idea to talk about these things to others. To just, the more we talk about it, the more we think about it, the more we do that, the more the idea of a new world gets integrated in our system. You know, it's just the step between visualizing a new world and actually building it, walking on it, is vocalizing it, is verbalizing it, is putting it into words, because words are have their own frequency, and they create as much as, you know, matter does. So is there anything else you would like to say when we are focusing on the truth this week? Truth this week. What else? Okay, this one. Well, coincidence. Another throat chakra, honesty. So it's truth, transparency, sincerity, and communication. Well, you know what? I believe that. I don't need to say anything about that. Can we get one last card, like the best general guidance for us for this week? So if you want to clear your energy, focus on your throat chakra. Obviously, all your chakras benefit from clearing, but this week, to discover your truth, you will find the key is in your throat, and so that's worthwhile to pay extra attention to whatever is blocking you. Maybe you have a cold, sinus problem, or a headache. Yeah. So what else? What's your best guidance for unblocking the truth? Step out of your comfort zone. Yeah, okay. So, yet a new romantic cycle begins. Well, it could be any kind of cycle. For some of you, it will obviously be romantic, but we are moving into the new world. And to be able to do that, you are supposed to step out of your comfort zone, because you're going to travel in a new direction and see things you haven't seen before. So that's okay, that's exciting, that's a happy time. So in order to be able to do this without much trouble or effort, or without feeling difficult, it's going to be great if you pay attention to your 6th and 7th chakra and clear them a bit extra, so you can have, you can travel and, leave your comfort zone a bit easier, a bit more smooth. Yeah. Anything else? No. Okay, I feel this is closing the Super Loved Relationship update. I hope you will spend some time this coming week to discover the truth of who you are. Know that you are infinitely powerful, you are eternal, and you are safe always, beyond the physical form. Nothing can change the essence of who you are. So you have the King of Pentacles to remind you of that this week. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you like it, and I will see you again soon. Bye.